President Donald Trump's Board of Peace will meet for the first time today. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Thursday, February 19th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. In Washington today, officials from dozens of countries will gather for the inaugural meeting of the Board of Peace. The board was originally conceived of to oversee Trump's peace plan in the Gaza Strip and the rebuilding of the devastated territory. But Trump has larger ambitions for the project. He has said it has the potential to become the most consequential international body in history. Some countries fear he intends it to supplant the United Nations, which he has been highly critical of. Trump spoke about the board to reporters on Air Force One on Monday.
I think it can be. We're going to have all world leaders. They're putting up tremendous amounts of money. And I think it's going to go far beyond Gaza. I think it'll be peace all over the world. And we're working in conjunction with the United Nations. Look, the United Nations is there. They haven't lived up to potential. The United Nations has great potential. They haven't lived up to the potential. But I think they might aid us a little bit. But we have the greatest leaders in the world joining the Board of Peace.
Among those greatest leaders in the world are some far removed from events in the Middle East, but who are in Trump's good graces, like Argentina's Javier Milei and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Of the 60 or so invitations that Trump has sent to heads of state to serve on the Board of Peace, about 24 countries have agreed to join. It's unclear which leaders, or how many, will show up for the meeting today. Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was reportedly arrested this morning. That's number 2. According to reporting by the BBC and the Associated Press, the former prince was arrested on suspicion of committing misconduct in public office. In a statement, Thames Valley Police said it arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk and was carrying out searches. The statement said he remains in police custody. Mountbatten-Windsor is the brother of Britain's King Charles III. He is one of many high-profile figures mentioned in the Epstein files and was stripped of his titles last year over his links to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He has long denied wrongdoing. This is a developing story this morning, so check back in with the Post's site or app for updates. A new memo from the Department of Homeland Security outlined a major shift in how refugees are treated. That's number 3. The memo issued yesterday stated that federal immigration agents should arrest refugees who have not yet obtained a green card and detain them indefinitely for rescreening. It rescinds a 2010 memo that said that failing to apply for status as a lawful permanent resident within a year of living in the U.S. is not a basis for detaining refugees who entered the country legally. Resettlement organizations said the updated guidance represents a dramatic shift in how refugees are treated. According to federal data, more than 200,000 refugees entered the U.S. during the Biden administration. Some of those new arrivals have already received green cards. But advocates estimate that about 100,000 refugees have not, and could be subject to detention under the new policy. Number 4. 8 skiers were found dead after an avalanche in Northern California. On Tuesday, a massive snowslide took place in Truckee near Lake Tahoe. The avalanche was described as being the length of a football field. Yesterday, authorities confirmed that 8 people had been found dead. Search efforts are continuing for one person who's still missing, but continuing snowstorms are hampering the search and recovery operations. Placer County Sheriff Wayne Wu warned the public against visiting the mountain range.
My request to members of the public during this time, and that is please avoid the Sierras during this current storm and in the upcoming days. Avoid mountain travel. It's treacherous. Avoid the backcountry. Please allow us to focus all of our resources on continuing to recover these bodies for the family and bring them home.
Tuesday's avalanche is the deadliest in modern California history. It surpassed the toll of 7 people killed in a 1982 avalanche in the same region. Number 5. Colleges are cutting ties with organizations that help people of color. According to a Post investigation, more than 100 schools have ended partnerships with the PhD Project since last year. That's a group founded in 1994 to diversify the pipeline of students who aspire to become business school professors. The colleges cut ties after the Department of Education last March announced probes into 45 universities that partnered with the group. It's not the only program that has been affected. Documents show that some schools have quietly made pacts with officials to cut programs that restrict participation based on race. For example, the California State University system told the federal government that one of its campuses plans to cut ties with the Links Incorporated. That's a national volunteer service group historically composed of Black women. Advocates argue that there is no evidence such programs cause students from other racial or ethnic backgrounds to lose access or opportunities. Blood tests may be able to predict the start of Alzheimer's symptoms. That's number 6. In a new study published in the journal Nature Medicine today, scientists showed that they could use blood draws to build a clock for Alzheimer's disease. It allows them to roughly predict when symptoms will develop. That could eventually transform how the memory-robbing disease is diagnosed and treated. For example, the technique could be used to identify which patients would benefit if companies are able to develop drugs to treat the disease before symptoms develop. And it could accelerate research into new treatments by recruiting the ideal study participants, people with no symptoms but who are at a high risk for developing them soon. And at number 7, alpine skier Michaela Schifrin ended her Olympic drought with a gold. After a shaky start to her Olympic Games in Italy, and very bad memories of a heartbreaking showing in Beijing in 2022, Schifrin had something to celebrate yesterday. She delivered a dominant performance in her final event, the slalom. It's not a surprise, she is the most decorated alpine skier in World Cup history. But that doesn't make it any less meaningful, especially as she faced down such tremendous expectations. Speaking of tremendous expectations, I will be watching every second of the figure skating tonight, even though I understand basically nothing about the sport. The gold medal is up for grabs in the women's free skate. You can find analysis from my colleagues who are experts in today's newsletter. Find that where it always is, in our show notes. All right, you're all caught up. But before you go, a reminder that if you're a subscriber to The Washington Post, you can get access to our shows ad-free in Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is find the Washington Post channel in Apple Podcasts and connect your Post subscription. If you're not a subscriber, this is a great time to start. You can sign up at our channel in Apple Podcasts or through the link in our show notes. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.